Hello, welcome to this video today, which is on the 20th of June. It's Tuesday, it's 1:30 p.m. GMT. Now, today, we'll be looking at a couple of what I consider to be high probability trade setups. Now, what we are looking to do is catch a couple of big trends. And in relation to this, what we're going to be doing is very simple technical analysis, but we're going to be using our favourite indicators to indicate big trends could be coming. Regular viewers will know what they are. They are the ADX and the COT, the Commitment of Traders report. So we can do this very simple technical analysis, use these indicators as a warning sign. Okay, now what I want to do just before we get to the charts is just, for anyone new watching our videos or beginners coming in the markets, key point or key lesson to learn is before you trade any strategy, make sure the logic is soundly based. Okay, now it might sound like very basic advice, but most beginners, when they come in the markets, they'll just take someone else's strategy, their word for what works, and not test it. They'll just try it. You've got to test it. If you don't test it and have confidence in it, then how can you trade it with discipline? You can't. Now, with the ADX and the COT, just go away, look back historically, test it. They're very simple indicators to use, and you'll see, how they can how they can give you an edge in your trading. Now, there's no one set way or one best way to make money in the markets. There's plenty of ways, but always make sure the logic is soundly based. You understand it. You've got confidence in it. Then you can trade with discipline. Now, what I'm going to do now is we're going to go through the two chart setups, NZD USD first, then USD MXN, then I'll sum up with a couple of points. So here are the charts. We're on the chart of New Zealand dollar, US dollar daily, just going to illustrate using the ADX, which is our favourite indicator for indicating the end of a prevailing trend and possibly giving us a chance to trade a market reversal. Now, directional movement, ADX is the red line here. It's a very simple indicator to use. I've got a black line here, which is 40. As soon as the ADX goes above 40, it doesn't matter how far it goes, you just want to look for a turn down. When it turns down, it's going to indicate the prevailing trend, up or down, is coming to an end. So you have to obviously look at the prevailing trend. Now, obviously here it is up, and the turn down occurs on this candle here. Okay, so that is a warning sign the prevailing trend is going to come to an end. Now, you obviously have to look at price action as well, or use a filter with the ADX. But for me, nice strong trend up. This candle here is exhaustion. Okay, the tail pokes above this one, comes down, then you get the ADX turn down. So you can sell it, in my view, with a stop behind the round number. I don't think you need to be behind that tail at all. And then what do we get? A really nice move to the downside. Okay, so that is a really good signal from the ADX, and it doesn't give many, but the ones it gives I always think offer high probability trades. Now, obviously that is in the past. Okay, so let's look at one that is shaping up right now, which is on the right of the chart. Got the ADX coming up towards 45. Now, look at what sort of price action we've got. Got this nice blue candle here, goes up, comes back, red tries to go lower, blue again tries to go up, then this one here. This tail doesn't reach that tail. Now we're sitting right here. Now, there's no signal really until the ADX turns down, but what I would say is, okay, you've got resistance at 73, and obviously draw a straight line as well. From my experience of the ADX and these sorts of trends, these sort of choppy grinding trends we've got here, it's not going to take much to turn the ADX down. Got support at 72. Okay, so I think if she comes through 71.70 backed up by an ADX turn down, we should see a really good correction to the downside. Now, in terms of measuring a correction to the downside or anticipating it, I think you'd say 70.50 was the first level. We always like to use the fundamentals to back up our view, and the fundamentals for us are bullish fundamentals peaking for the Kiwi, and the US dollar generally oversold. So I would probably aim more for down here, okay? So a really big move, okay? We can see how it develops as it goes, but right down here, okay? Now, obviously we can rally higher. If we rally higher, I'm almost, yeah, in my mind, I think we're definitely going to find resistance into 73.50. Yeah, the ADX will give you the warning sign. Just watch as you go. So it's a sell on a bounce higher, in my view. Just wait for the ADX or on a move through that key 72 support level. And it just, in terms of the ADX turning down, why do I think it's going to turn down through 72? It's just from past experience, really. But if you're not experienced with the ADX, yeah, just wait for it to give you the signal, and you should have, hopefully, a good risk to reward trade. I'd encourage anyone, who wants to learn to use the ADX, put it on as many charts as possible to see how accurate it is. And you need to use a lot of charts with the ADX simply because, it just doesn't give many signals. I mean, in here, sorry, on this chart, in 6 months, we've got 2. But if you monitor 20 odd charts, you'll probably find a decent ADX trade each month or a couple a month. If volatility goes up in the markets, you'll get more. But a couple of decent trades per month with really good risk reward on them could really help you make some decent profits. That's my review of NZD USD. Here on the chart of USD MXN daily, and what we're going to do here is to back up our technical view of the chart. We're going to look at the CFTC Net Traders positions. For new viewers who are not familiar with them, there's a full explanatory video underneath this one which explains why we consider them the most valuable tool in Forex trading. But in brief here, what we're looking for on the report is the non-commercials to move against the commercials. Non-commercials are big speculators, bank funds, hedge funds, etc. Commercials are hedgers, they're the smart money. And historically, the commercials tend to always get big market turns right. Non-commercials get caught the wrong way round. That's historical, and you can look back over the CFTC Net Traders for yourself. But in terms of what we want to do here is, if we just looked at the chart, there'd be no indication necessarily that the US dollar is going to have a big rise, but the CFTC Net Traders are telling us it could do. Non-commercial speculators, 4.5 to 1. In terms of bearish bets over bullish bets, they added in nearly 11,000 shorts last week. That's one of the biggest, or I think is the biggest move of speculative positions in a currency on the report. Commercials, 2.2 to 1 in terms of bullish bets over bearish bets, and they added in 11,744 longs last week. Again, that's, I think, the biggest commercial movement on the report. So what you got is non-commercials selling hard, commercials buying. If we go back to the previous week, the buying and selling is increasing from both groups. Okay, now the ratio or divergence is 6.7 to 1, which is a pretty decent one to trade. Now, in terms of the actual price action, this is the date of the CFTC report here. Okay, and what we get is we do get some downside motion. And incidentally, I did another video on USD MXN. I was saying to come in through 18.20 at the time, but what we do is we go down and we basically form a triple bottom. Okay, so we do that. Now, what I was saying on my email alerts is that this candle here is significant. It's just a small candle, volatility very low. If it breaks above 18, decisively takes out, go long. Now, we have moved up a bit, okay? Now, we do actually have the 20-day moving average here, but from the perspective of USD MXN, I don't think it's going to provide any resistance whatsoever. If you look at the news, generally, the consensus is the dollar is going down, okay? So I think a lot of speculators, these candles here as we ground lower, a lot of speculators have come in. There's going to be a lot of stops here. It's just going to get run, in my view. I think, the history of the MXN is quite a violent moving contract. We could easily move back up to recent highs, certainly to 1880, but I think we could get to 1920. Okay, Also, if we look at momentum, we've got the stochastic turned up from an oversold extreme. RSI is up from an oversold extreme at the bottom as well. So, yeah, plenty of upside potential. Nice strong close today. I think will follow through to the upside. So we'll see how this one pans out. In terms of the commercials, yeah, it's just the rate of change between them and the non-commercial speculators at the moment. I just think, yeah, when you look back at this pair historically, when this has happened before, normally get a decent move up in the US dollar. And I'm hoping that it's going to be the same this time. We shall see. In terms of stop, just for people who don't regularly watch our videos, you don't put it just behind here. Tuck it back behind here, okay? Way away from this quadruple bottom, which does run up. Obviously, you can pull her in, but use a wider stop. Give it a little bit of room just in case we do come back to test what is, I think significant support. But let's see how we go on this one. That is my review of USD MXN. I'll go back after that short review there of two Forex pairs. My view can obviously change in line with market conditions. If you've ever got a query or a question on the Forex pair, just please feel free to email me. I'll update those charts. We'll see how those setups turn out. But I think they could be good ones, regardless if we win or if we lose. They are high probability trade setups in our view. Now, in terms of the ADX and COT, very simple indicators to learn to use. And, if you test them back and look back historically, you just see, how they can get the odds on your side. And that will give you real confidence. And, I actually did a video at the weekend where I was talking about strategies that don't work, that the traders just take and don't bother testing. And I gave the example of Fibonacci retracements, okay? It's the perfect example, actually, because traders will just come in and start trading 50% retracements or whatever. They haven't tested it back. 50% retracements. How often do they hold or break? Go and do your testing. It's not that often. Okay. How often does an ADX turn down lead to a decent correction against a prevailing trend? Very often. Okay, so always do your testing. It's the only way you can trade with confidence and discipline. Sure, you need a little bit of practice, get used to the tools. Obviously, you've got to do your market timing, feel the chart, spot the big levels and so forth. But that's just a little bit of practice. Anyone can get used to using those indicators and making them work for them. So, in terms of today's video, I think I've covered everything I need to. So that is the video for today. We'll come back and update those setups. So thanks for watching me for now. Take care. Have a good day.